Hey everybody, Mark Comfort here, and I have, as the owner of Cruise Holidays in Kansas City, along with my wife Mimi, we like to take groups all over the world. I think most of you that are watching this know that. And one of the things that I personally love to do more than anything is go to places I've never been before. But I always like to do some research to find out as much as I can about that country and the destination we're going to, the culture, and everything. Safety is a big deal. And Colombia, South America is a brand new destination. As you know, if you're watching this, AmaWaterways has put the entire infrastructure in. Matter of fact, they're still actually working on it as we speak. They will have 2 ships, small river cruise ships, small compared to the world of Europe, meaning 30 staterooms, basically 30 or 31 staterooms. There's 2 ships, Ama Magdalena and Ama Melodia, and 62 people total, 31 cabins. And I am so excited. We have the first person who's ever gone to Colombia with Ama, and she's actually an Ama business development manager. Colombo, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking your time, and I can't wait to ask you a few questions to tell our group about when we have our seminar here on Tuesday, April 29th. But welcome and thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
And in the middle, or my middle, at least I see 2 lovely ladies and me, but in the middle is Marcy. And Marcy, as everybody probably knows, is our AmaWaterways representative. And she helped us learn all about the Columbia River to the best of our knowledge before the cruise ship started sailing on the Magdalena River. And by the way, the Magdalena River is a little bit, if you can picture in your mind here in the United States, like the Mississippi River. It just basically cuts the country in half going north to south. You've probably, maybe if you've ocean cruised before, you've heard of the big city of Cartagena. You might have heard the capital city of Bogota, which we will not be going to. You might have heard of Medellin, as the years that was famous many, many years ago. Totally different now, and we're going to talk about that. But Columba, if I can ask you a couple of questions that I think probably everybody, and honestly, including myself, want to know. Did you, especially as a woman, but your whole group, you had a group of 37 people there. You were the first group to go to Colombia with Ama. Did you personally, and then let me ask you, did your group feel safe and comfortable in Colombia?
We felt absolutely safe and comfortable everywhere we went. You know, we stuck together. We were a group. People were so happy to see us. We were led by the professionals of AmaWaterways. We're not going to take you anywhere that's unsafe. So with our local guides, with the local bus drivers, they took us everywhere we needed to go. We did even some kind of weird public transportation, and we felt safe. So I loved the whole experience because the fact is, like you said, it's a new destination. People haven't gone there before. They were afraid to go there in the past, and there was no reason to go. But now it's a whole new world, and it was fantastic.
By the way, I'm having a cup of coffee. I hear their coffee is great in Colombia.
That's what they're known for. That and emeralds. I didn't put my ring on, but I did buy a beautiful emerald. You see them whenever you're in the Caribbean, right? You see the stores, Colombian emeralds. Well, that's what they're known for, coffee and emeralds. Beautiful. So we actually got to spend a little time shopping. We went to a coffee farm. You know, in Europe, I go to vineyards, and I know all about wine and how that's made, but I never knew that coffee is actually a little fruit. It's a little like a berry, and you crack it open, and the pit is what makes the coffee. There's a whole roasting and drying process, and I'm a big coffee drinker, but you know, I'm a Keurig. They didn't really sell that, so I bought bags of coffee to bring home to friends and family because the people are so welcoming and so happy to see us. I just felt like I wanted to spend money there. So you'll have that opportunity when you're on a cruise with us.
Well, anywhere in the world you'll have that opportunity, but the women's ears just picked up when you said emeralds, so good.
Yes.
Talk about value in money. Our American dollar is very, very, very strong in Colombia, right?
Very strong, and it's also very confusing. So be careful because the peso is crazy. You know, it's like the old days of going to Mexico when I used to buy something for, you know, $10 and it was 5 million pesos. So you're like, what? So make sure that you're careful with that, because I did make a mistake going into an ATM. I took out $500 mistakenly, not, so you just really got to be careful. It was ridiculous. If you're doing the extension in Panama, though, I will tell you, you put your ATM card, dollars come out. Ooh, I love that. Real dollars. So just
Columba, I am taking a group into Medellin before the cruise starts, actually for 3 nights, and then we're flying from Medellin back to Cartagena for 2 nights before the cruise starts. You went to both Medellin and Cartagena. Will you tell us about those 2 cities, please?
Yes, very different. I loved Cartagena. We stayed, if you're doing the pre with us, you know that we use the Sofitel legend. It's the Santa Clara. I didn't know this until this trip. I learned that there are only 6 Sofitel legends in the world. And we used 2 of them on this trip, the one in Cartagena and the one in Panama City. And what makes them a legend property is their history. The Santa Clara in Cartagena was a convent at one time. It was a hospital. It was a prison. It became a hotel, I think they said in 2007, but Sofitel took it over in 2012. And it is just spectacular property. Beautiful. So 2 nights in Cartagena, and it's right in the old town of Cartagena, which it's so colorful, so beautiful. Lots of shopping to do there. Just walking the streets. They have like an outdoor market every day that you can shop at, right behind the hotel. So we had a walking tour of all of that. Then they take us to this beautiful little town. It's called, it's a suburb, I would say, called Gethsemane. After the Bible, there's a town, Gethsemane, right? So I thought that was odd, but you go there, and this was like the slum of Cartagena at one time, and it's been regentrified. And it's closed street, you just walk it, and it's all artists and little shops that you can visit. Beautiful, colorful artwork, beautiful murals on the wall. There's such artistic people, not only art like his paintings, but the music is everywhere, dance is everywhere. They're just joyful people. I think they're just so happy to be out of what they were into for so long, So beautiful old town, but then there's a beautiful new section that when you look over, you say, what is that? It looks like it's Miami Beach. So there are a lot of little islands that make up Cartagena, or that section. It's called Boca Grande, which is Big Mouth. That's where the ships would go into if you're on a big cruise ship. But obviously that's not where we're going. But it's really very, very diverse. But I love the old town. Medellin, we had a wonderful time there. That's known as Eternal Spring. So there you're going to have cooler temperatures. You're up in the mountains. That's where we did the coffee farm, and it was absolutely delightful. We went up on a crazy way of transportation on a what they call a Chiva, Chiva. It's an open air bus, and they take you to the coffee farm. You'll spend a few hours there doing tastings. They show you the whole process of making coffee, and it's just way up in the mountains. You get beautiful vistas of everything around you. Another day we took a ride. I don't know if this is going to be part of your tour, because you're not doing your Medellin trip with Ama now, right? Your pre-trip, you're doing it on your own, right?
No, we're doing it with Ama.
Oh, okay. So they took us on cable cars way up over the mountainside, and you'll see all the homes and how they live. And in addition to our local guides that we had with us all the time, when we got there to the top, we saw these like 5 young kids, and I thought, what are these, like break dancers or something? And that's what they look like. They're wearing the baggy shorts and the shirts. One guy had a Brooklyn shirt, and I had to take a picture with him because I'm from Brooklyn. And it turns out that they were the guides that actually, with our local guides, took us. They really were so happy to share their communities with us and give us little tastes of different things and give us insight into their lives. So it was so enlightening, and my group just really cherished that. They felt like, wow, Ama is really taking such a vested interest in this country and their people and their communities. And that's what we all felt. We all just felt it from the heart. It's not a trip to Europe where you're going to see castles and palaces and, gardens. You're going to see people, you're going to get wet, you're going to get hot, you're going to get dirty, but it's just such a life-changing experience, I felt.
Yeah, and of course it's right on the equator, and we'll make sure everybody knows what the weather and the humidity and things are like that. You told us that, and Marcy told us from the very beginning that this is, gosh, as much as a cultural experience as it is experience about history or biodiversity, but they've got plenty of history there. You went to that Palenke, I believe it's called. It used to be where the slaves all ended up when they got their freedom, and that's right where all the rhythm and the music is.
It was amazing. We visited this little town called Palenque, which they were, they keep in its original, the homes. You get to visit a home. We actually had lunch there. They took us, we saw like how the women braided their hair, and they told us little stories about how they used to hide things in their hair, from being robbed. We went to see a doctor that was all, herbal. He blessed us all. He gave us a bracelet. It was, I can compare it like when we went to see the monks in Cambodia, when we visited there. Here, you're just seeing their real life. And I mentioned to somebody, I said, all right, so I get that they're trying to preserve this, but like, don't you think that like they want to, get out of this? And they said, no, they want to preserve it. They want to share this story, how we have to know history. And my group was of African American descent from New Jersey. There was 37 of them, and they were totally moved. They had no idea. We call it Afro-American here. They call it Afro-Colombian. And their culture is so mixed with the Black culture because at one time there were more slaves in Colombia than there were indigenous people, because they needed slaves to come for the coffee fields, for the emerald mines, and all of that. So they imported all these slaves, and then they gained their freedom. This town of Palenque, or they freed themselves from the Spaniards before the U.S. slaves were freed here. So that's why it's called the Freedom Town. Yeah.
And I have to show you this. Marcy talked us into, she said that this country is so colorful. And I love, love, love our flyer because it shows probably in this very town, those colorful dresses, that colorful door. And a lot of times you'll see color, right, in a lot of areas, especially around an ocean. But did you find the colorfulness of the people, the warmness, the hospitality? Did you find that to be what you expected or more?
More. Like I said, they was just so happy to see us. I mean, they don't get many tourists. Even like on the Panama extension, we went to this little town. Like these people are still like wearing, like, what do you call that? Like a thong, a G-string? I don't know. like they're running around with their little babies with their butts out, and you're like, where am I? It's just so different than what you'll experience. And we were so happy to be there. We went on these boats that were narrow. You thought you were going to start rowing. They even joked with us, okay, we're going to get the oars now. It was motorized, but just different experiences like that. AmaWaterways does have 3 small boats that's how they get you up to certain areas or certain parts that you have to visit that the ship itself can't go to. So that's where you're going to take the smaller boats to get to the wildlife, to see the birds in the trees, and lots of, what do you call those? Not lizards, those big things. What do I call them? I can't think of the name now. So you'll see lots. And then in Cartagena, just walking from where we got off the motor coach to go to Gethsemane, we walked through like a little park area, and we saw sloths in the tree. We saw monkeys in the tree. It's like, what? We see squirrels? No, they've got sloths and monkeys. It's crazy, crazy. I loved it. It was so fun.
Back to kind of the culture. Festivals and the Carnival is a big, big deal, and Ama's going to have some festivals and carnivals for you. You experienced one. Was it fun?
It was fabulous. What we did in Barranquilla, because Barranquilla is the second largest Carnival after Rio de Janeiro. So it's very important to their culture. And we actually went to the Carnival Museum. So we got to see a video about, how it all came about. And there's rooms and rooms with all of the costumes and all of the, every year there's a Carnival princess or queen, I guess. I don't know what she's called. Princess. She's a young girl that the family sponsors to be that queen for the that year. And when you arrive in Barranquilla on the ship, there will be a Carnival celebration, and the people will come out in full regalia, come and welcome you. They will have their drums, they will have the music. And even in Palenque, I forgot to mention this, we went to a little hut kind of thing, and I said, what is this? it's actually a recording studio. And they have the drums, they have a xylophone all set up, and they let you go, and they'll start a beat and they want you to play along with them. And then the girl grabs the mic and she starts singing, and you're just all getting into the groove, and it was just so much fun.
Oh, that's so
But
much fun. Hey, I want to tell you, I really appreciate your time. Columbia, you and I have known each other for many, 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 many decades, actually. You and I talk about memories like Marcy and Mimi and I talk about memories all the time. That's what this business creates for people. Did you feel like the memories that were created and the money that was spent, the investment in this vacation for your group, was it memorable, and did they feel like they got their money's worth?
Mark, I never saw a more beautiful letter written by an advisor to Christine Karst about this trip, how much it meant to them that we pulled this trip together, and how heartfelt everyone felt that we had 37 people, and now this same advisor is blocking a group for 27 and for 2027. And you know, they're all encouraging friends and family to join them, because this was their fifth trip with, most of them, their fifth trip with Ama, and they said it beat them all for them. It was just a life-changing trip. Like I said, you know, Europe is Europe. We all know what to expect there. Here, you don't know what to expect. And it just leaves such an impression on you that you come back feeling like really good about your life and feel good about going there and being able to, you know, spend your money there and to see these people and let them show you what they're made of, because they don't have that opportunity. And I could cry just thinking about it. I feel like Christine Karst now, because she cries all the time, and I feel like her. I'll tell you, it really was special.
Well,
Really
thank you. I cannot thank you enough for taking the time out. I know Mimi and I are going to love this. I love going to new countries. I love experiencing different cultures. I love to learn about the history in those areas and the biodiversity and the wildlife and everything. And I love to help also dispel some bad myths that happened decades and decades ago in an area that are not true now, and that the safety is fabulous, the hospitality is fabulous, the value is fabulous. And gosh, I really do think you and Marcy should go with Mimi and I in February when we do our trip.
Do it again.
We'll buy some more coffee. Columba,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me today. Marcy, thank you. Gosh, I look forward. I bet we will. Gosh, you think about this, Marcy. We only have 15 cabins that we've got in this half ship charter. My guess is those will go pretty fast. Maybe with any luck at all, we could come beg you for more cabins. Okay.
They really will go fast. And I'm telling you, you will have fear of missing out. If you're listening to this and you don't go, you'll be sorry. Everybody else will come back so happy and tell you what a great time they had.
Yeah, well, thank you, Columba. I expected that to be the case, but it's so good to hear from somebody that's actually been there and done that. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you again, Columba. And Marcy, we'll see you Tuesday, okay?
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Take
And
care.
it's time for more Columbia coffee.
Bye.